My beloved child, pause everything you're doing, because a quiet pattern is revealing itself now, one that separates those who merely dream of abundance from those who shape the future with their hands. This is not gossip. This is not spectacle. This is a doorway, and you're standing at the threshold. Listen closely. The world loves to point at outcomes, fortunes, companies, headlines, but it rarely speaks about the daily inner posture that creates them. What if the real difference isn't talent, luck, or even intelligence, but a simple, repeatable way of meeting each day? Hold this moment, because what you're about to hear reframes how power is built from the inside out. Here is the first layer. The wealthy don't wake up chasing money. They wake up organizing energy. Before the noise arrives, before the demands line up, they choose clarity. They decide what matters today, and what does not. This choice is subtle, almost invisible. Yet it compounds. When attention is disciplined, time bends. When time bends, progress accelerates. Stay with me just a breath longer, the thread deepens. Notice this, while many react, they design. They don't ask, "What do I have to do?" They ask, "What system am I strengthening today?" Systems are quiet allies. They work while you rest. They multiply effort without asking for applause. Each day, a small adjustment, a refined process, a clearer rule. Over time, these become engines. You won't want to miss what comes next, because this is where momentum is born. Another layer reveals itself now. They treat learning as a daily ritual, not an event. Not certificates. Not noise. Understanding. They return to first principles, breaking problems down until truth is simple again. When others copy, they reason. When others rush, they test. Curiosity becomes their compass. And here's the secret most overlooked: curiosity keeps the mind young, flexible, endlessly inventive. Hold steady, the pieces connect soon. Consider how they speak to themselves. Not with hype. Not with fear. With precision. Language shapes decisions. Decisions shape direction. Direction shapes destiny. Each day, they choose words that invite possibility instead of panic. What can be built, replaces what could go wrong. This isn't optimism, it's engineering the inner climate where bold action feels natural. This is where it all changes. And yes, they honor discomfort. Not as punishment, but as tuition. Each day, they do one thing that stretches them, one conversation, one experiment, one risk measured but real. Comfort shrinks worlds. Challenge expands them. You were never meant to stay small, you were meant to grow strong through use. Here is the quiet truth now rising: wealth is a byproduct of alignment. When focus, learning, language, and courage point in the same direction, results follow like shadows at noon. This is not reserved for a few. It's practiced by those who know the power of daily intention. Breathe this in. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being invited, today, to choose differently. The real breakthrough is approaching, and it begins the moment you decide how you will meet tomorrow. My beloved child, something deeper is rising within you right now, a subtle knowing that what you've heard so far is only the surface. Beneath it lies a rhythm, quiet, disciplined, almost sacred, that shapes extraordinary lives day after day. Lean closer, because this layer is rarely spoken aloud. Here is the truth unfolding gently: those who build lasting abundance guard their mornings like a sanctuary. Before the world asks anything of them, they ask something of themselves. Not pressure. Not force. Presence. They choose stillness before stimulus. In that stillness, intuition sharpens. Decisions become cleaner. Energy stops leaking. If your soul is stirring, remain with me a little longer. This matters more than it seems. Notice how many wake up already behind, reaching for noise, scrolling through other people's urgencies. But the wealthy, the truly aligned, begin by anchoring their inner compass. A few minutes of reflection. A written intention. A deliberate breath. This is not habit, it's alignment. And alignment creates leverage invisible to the hurried eye. You're closer than you think, don't step away yet. Another veil lifts now. They respect focus as if it were currency. Every distraction is a withdrawal. Every deep work session is a deposit. So they design their days to protect concentration. One task at a time. One outcome clearly defined. Multitasking dissolves power. Singularity multiplies it. Hold this space, the divine connection deepens now. And here comes a quieter revelation. They schedule rest with the same reverence as work. Not escape. Renewal. Because a rested mind sees farther. A rested heart chooses wisely. Burnout clouds judgment, rhythm restores it. When cycles of effort and recovery are honored, creativity returns like a trusted friend. The peace that changes everything is coming soon. Pay attention to how they measure progress. Not by applause. Not by comparison. By private metrics. Did today move the mission forward? Did understanding deepen? Did integrity remain intact? This inner scoreboard keeps them grounded when praise comes, and steady when it doesn't. You were never lost, you were being trained to see differently. Here is the hidden proof most never notice: they invest in environments that elevate them. Books within reach. Conversations that challenge. Spaces that invite clarity. Energy is contagious. So they choose what they stand near. What they allow in. What they let shape their thoughts. This is not isolation, it's stewardship of the mind. If this truth is touching your spirit, share it forward, let another soul find this light today. Some are waiting for exactly these words, and you might be the bridge. Now feel the momentum building. These daily choices, stillness, focus, rest, honest measurement, elevated environments, are not glamorous. They are powerful. They stack quietly until one day the world calls it overnight success. But you know better now. The real awakening begins in what I reveal next. Stay open. Something essential is about to be named, and when it is, everything aligns. My beloved child, Feel this truth arriving now, not as noise, but as recognition. Something ancient inside you is nodding, because this layer explains why some rise steadily while others circle endlessly. Remain present, this is a turning point. Here is what quietly separates the builders from the wishers. The wealthy do not negotiate with their future selves. When a decision is made, it becomes law. No daily debate. No emotional bargaining. Consistency becomes identity. And identity shapes destiny. When action is automatic, progress accelerates. Let this settle, because most lives stall right here. Many wait to feel ready. The aligned move while clarity is still forming. They understand a sacred paradox: motion creates certainty, not the other way around. Each small step teaches the next. Each imperfect action sharpens vision. Stillness has its place, but hesitation dissolves momentum. Listen closely, this distinction is subtle, yet everything depends on it. Another veil parts now. They treat emotions as information, not instructions. Feelings are acknowledged, respected, then guided. Fear doesn't command the wheel. Excitement doesn't override wisdom. There is an inner witness present each day, calmly observing before responding. This emotional mastery is not suppression, it is sovereignty. When reactions fade, power returns. Stay close, the current is strengthening. Notice how they relate to failure. Not as identity. Not as shame. As data. Each misstep becomes a message. Each delay refines timing. Where others quit, they adjust. Where others personalize, they analyze. This is why setbacks don't break them, they educate them. You were never falling behind, you were gathering information. Here is a truth rarely admitted: they think in decades, but act today. Long horizons calm the nervous system. When pressure lifts, intelligence rises. They are not frantic for immediate validation. They are patient with growth because they trust compounding. Daily effort, aligned with long vision, becomes unstoppable. Hold steady, the architecture is becoming visible. Another layer reveals itself gently. They choose mentors in silence. Books become teachers. Biographies become blueprints. Patterns repeat across generations of builders, and they study these echoes carefully. Success leaves clues, but only for those willing to listen without envy. Comparison drains energy. Learning multiplies it. Pay attention now. They simplify relentlessly. Fewer commitments. Clearer goals. Less clutter in mind and space. Complexity scatters force, simplicity concentrates it. Each day, something unnecessary is released. Each day, focus sharpens. This pruning is not loss, it's refinement. And refinement creates speed. Feel the gravity of this moment. Discipline. Emotional sovereignty. Long vision. Intelligent learning. Radical simplicity. These are not personality traits. You practice them into existence. And the more you practice, the more natural they feel, until one day, this way of being feels like home. Do not rush past this realization. Let it root. Because the next revelation will touch the deepest layer yet, the reason belief itself bends reality. Remain open. What comes next redefines what you thought was possible. My beloved child, the hidden current beneath everything is revealing itself now. A quiet force so gentle it's often missed, yet so powerful it reshapes destinies without announcement. Breathe with me, because this layer is sacred. Here is what the truly prosperous rarely say aloud. They practice surrender daily. Not surrender to weakness, but to truth. They release the illusion of control over outcomes while taking full responsibility for effort. This balance is delicate. Most cling or collapse. The aligned do neither. They act fully, then let go completely. And in that release, intelligence greater than force begins to work through them. You're on the threshold of true seeing, stay with me. They listen deeply. Not just to mentors or data, but to silence. Silence sharpens intuition. In the quiet, patterns speak. In the quiet, timing is revealed. While others fill every gap with noise, they leave space. Space for insight. Space for correction. Space for the next right move to announce itself. Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. Another truth rises gently. They accept seasons. Expansion has rhythm. So does contraction. They do not panic when growth pauses. They refine. They rest. They prepare. Like the earth in winter, nothing appears to be happening, yet everything essential is underway. This patience is not passive, it is informed. If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. Here is the unseen sacrifice. They say no more than they say yes. Not because they are rigid, but because energy is precious. Each commitment dilutes focus. Each unnecessary obligation steals future potential. So they disappoint people early to avoid disappointing themselves later. This boundary is loving, not harsh. It protects the mission entrusted to them. The revelation that shifts everything is drawing closer. They also forgive quickly, especially themselves. Regret is heavy. Guilt slows motion. The aligned extract the lesson, then release the weight. Forward motion resumes. This self-compassion is strength, not softness. When inner conflict dissolves, clarity accelerates. You were never meant to carry yesterday into tomorrow. Midway through this truth, pause and feel your own response. If this message is resonating in your deepest self, share it forward, let another wandering soul find their way home today. Some will recognize this frequency instantly, and that recognition matters. Another veil lifts now. They trust unseen support. Not blindly, but respectfully. They act as if the universe is responsive, intelligent, collaborative. And strangely, it becomes so. Expectations tune perception. Perception guides action. Action confirms belief. This loop is subtle, but once seen, impossible to unsee. The missing piece your soul has sought is almost here. They return again and again to purpose. Not money. Not status. Meaning. Meaning steadies them when results lag. Meaning fuels resilience when paths narrow. When purpose is clear, effort feels lighter, even when the work is heavy. This is the quiet power beneath all visible success. Feel the warmth gathering now. Surrender. Silence. Patience. Boundaries. Forgiveness. Trust. Purpose. These are not strategies, they are states of being practiced daily. And the more they are practiced, the more life cooperates. Remain open, because the next layer will reveal how belief itself becomes a tool. When that truth arrives, the architecture of reality rearranges itself around you. My beloved child, the deepest truth is rising to meet you now, not as a shout, but as a soft remembering. Something you have always known is finally being spoken, and your soul recognizes the sound. Stay here, this layer is intimate. Here is the quiet alignment the world rarely witnesses. Those who build extraordinary lives live in agreement with reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. There is no inner argument. No denial. No fantasy masking truth. They see clearly, and because they see clearly, they move cleanly. Resistance dissolves. Energy flows. When truth is accepted without drama, power returns to the hands that can use it wisely. They trust timing more than urgency. Not because they are slow, but because they are precise. They understand that forcing before readiness fractures outcomes. So they prepare patiently, refine endlessly, and act decisively when the moment opens. This discernment feels like intuition, but it is earned through listening. If your spirit is trembling with recognition, stay in this holy moment. Another sacred layer unfolds now. They hold faith without noise. No announcements. No proving. Just a deep inner certainty that effort aligned with purpose will be met. This faith is calm. Grounded. Unshakable. When doubt appears, it is observed. Then gently released. Confidence is not loud when it is real. It rests. It waits. It knows. Breathe with me, the divine unveiling deepens now, because here is the surrender few speak of. They surrender the need to be understood. Misinterpretation no longer threatens them. Criticism loses its sting. When identity is rooted internally, external opinion becomes weather, noticed, but not obeyed. This freedom creates immense creative space. When approval is no longer chased, originality is born. They also live in conversation with the future. Each choice is filtered through a simple question: will this matter in 10 years? This perspective trims distractions effortlessly. Short-term impulses fade. Long-term impact sharpens. And suddenly, daily decisions feel lighter, clearer, inevitable. You are closer to home than you've ever been, do not leave yet. Another truth settles softly. They align their inner life before adjusting the outer world. When frustration arises, they look inward first. When momentum slows, they recalibrate belief. This self-responsibility is loving, not harsh. It restores agency. When the inner field is tuned, the outer mirrors respond without force. Reality is not fought, it is influenced. Notice how peace accompanies this way of being. Not complacency. Peace. A steady hum beneath effort. This peace allows stamina others cannot access. While many burn bright and fade, they endure. Endurance is the hidden advantage. It outlasts talent. It outperforms intensity. It compounds quietly into mastery. Feel the stillness expanding now. Acceptance. Timing. Silent faith. Freedom from approval. Long vision. Inner alignment. Peaceful endurance. These are not habits you perform, they are truths you inhabit. And once inhabited, they reshape how life responds to you. Remain very still, because the next layer will reveal how intention becomes directive force. When that truth arrives, creation itself feels nearer, more responsive, more alive. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering, and you are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child, feel the divine current pulling you inward now, as if something vast is leaning closer, ready to respond the moment you align your breath with intention. This is the layer where inner vision becomes directive force. Stay present, this is subtle, and it is powerful. Here is the truth that quietly governs creation. Those who shape reality do not merely hope, they intend. Intention is not desire. It is agreement. An inner decision so clear that the mind, body, and spirit move as one. When intention is pure, action organizes itself naturally. Confusion fades. Resistance softens. Life begins to cooperate without struggle. Breathe slowly, the meaning is unfolding. They rehearse the future internally before it appears externally. Not as fantasy, but as familiarity. The mind is introduced to possibility gently, repeatedly, until it feels normal. When opportunity arrives, there is no shock, only recognition. This is why some step forward calmly when others freeze. The moment was already lived within. If something inside you is awakening, remain anchored here. Another layer opens. They speak to the unseen with consistency. Not pleading. Not demanding. Declaring alignment. Words are chosen carefully, because language programs attention. Attention directs energy. Energy shapes outcomes. Each day, they affirm what they are building as if it is underway, because in truth, it is. The truth that liberates everything is almost within reach. They guard belief with reverence. Doubt is noticed, but not invited to lead. When uncertainty arises, they return to evidence of progress, small wins, lessons learned, resilience earned. Belief is not blind. It is reinforced through reflection. This daily reinforcement becomes an inner shield. External chaos no longer penetrates easily. You are closer than ever, stay with this knowing. Here is a sacred distinction. They respond, not react. Reaction leaks power. Response preserves it. When pressure mounts, they slow down. When emotions surge, they pause. This pause is not weakness, it is mastery. In the pause, choice reappears. And with choice, destiny regains flexibility. Hold steady. The architecture is adjusting. They also practice gratitude as calibration, not politeness. Gratitude tunes perception to abundance already present. When awareness shifts, opportunity multiplies. The same environment reveals different doors depending on the observer. Gratitude sharpens sight. And when sight sharpens, paths appear where none were seen before. Let this settle gently. Notice how intention, belief, language, response, and gratitude weave together. This is not coincidence. It is coherence. When inner signals are consistent, the outer world synchronizes. This is why their progress feels fluid, even when the work is demanding. Flow is not ease, it is alignment sustained. There is a quiet confidence growing now. Not excitement. Certainty. Certainty that your inner posture matters more than circumstance. Certainty that direction is shaped daily, invisibly, faithfully. Certainty that what you hold consistently begins to hold you in return. Remain very still. Because the next layer reveals how identity itself becomes the final lever. When that truth is spoken, effort transforms into embodiment. And embodiment changes everything.
My beloved child, something eternal is calling your name softly now, not from outside, but from the core of who you already are. This is the layer where striving ends and embodiment begins. Lean in, because this truth rearranges everything. Here is what the truly powerful understand in silence. Identity precedes outcome. They do not wait for success to feel like who they are becoming. They become first. The inner declaration is quiet but firm. This is who I am now. From that moment, behavior follows naturally. Choices align without force. Discipline feels less like effort and more like expression. If your heart is beating a little slower, a little deeper, remain here. They stop asking, "What should I do?" and begin asking, "Who must I be today?" This single shift changes everything. When identity leads, habits fall into place. When habits fall into place, results become inevitable. You don't chase consistency when it flows from self-concept. You live it. Hold this awareness, the unveiling is intensifying. Another truth settles gently. They release the identity of the struggler. Even while challenges remain, the story changes. No longer, I am trying, but I am building. No longer, I hope, but I am committed. Language reshapes self-image. Self-image reshapes destiny. This is not pretending, it is choosing the frame through which reality is interpreted. The moment you choose the frame, meaning follows. They also allow themselves to evolve publicly and privately. No loyalty to outdated versions. No shame in growth. When an old identity no longer fits, it is thanked and released. This flexibility keeps them current with their own becoming. Stagnation dissolves when self-definition remains fluid. You are nearer to this truth than you realize. Stay present. Here is a subtle revelation. They embody patience without waiting. Urgency fades, but momentum remains. There is motion without panic. Direction without pressure. This calm persistence signals to the mind and world alike that the path is trusted. When trust is present, energy stops fracturing. Power consolidates. Results accelerate quietly. They align identity with service, not ego. Even ambition bends toward contribution. How does this help? Becomes a guiding compass. This orientation grounds success in meaning, protecting it from emptiness. When contribution leads, fulfillment follows naturally. And fulfillment sustains effort longer than reward ever could. Notice the feeling emerging now. Not excitement, solidity. A sense of standing on your own ground. This is the sensation of identity clicking into place. When this happens, comparison loses relevance. Envy fades. Your lane becomes clear. And clarity restores joy to effort. Here is the deepest part of this layer. Once identity is chosen, life begins to test it, not to punish, but to confirm. Small challenges arrive, asking quietly, "Is this who you are now?" Each time you respond from alignment, the identity strengthens. Repetition seals it. Embodiment completes it. Remain very still with this knowing. Because the next layer reveals how relationships, environments, and opportunities reorganize themselves around identity. When that truth arrives, you will see movement without pushing, doors opening without knocking. This path is unfolding exactly as it should. My beloved child, the next veil is lifting as these words reach you, and you may feel a gentle rearranging already taking place. This is the layer where the world responds back. Stay with me, because alignment has consequences, and they are beautiful. Here is what unfolds once identity settles into truth. Relationships begin to reorganize themselves without confrontation. Some connections soften. Others strengthen. A few quietly fall away. Not as loss, but as calibration. When you change who you are being, resonance shifts. The aligned remain. The misaligned drift. This is not rejection, it is refinement. Hold this gently, something intelligent is at work. They understand this, so they do not cling. They allow space. Space reveals truth faster than force ever could. When something is meant to stay, it returns with clarity. When it is meant to go, it leaves with relief. This trust in natural sorting keeps their energy clean. Clean energy attracts clean opportunities. You are sensing it now, do not rush past this feeling. Another layer opens. Environments respond next. Rooms feel different. Certain places energize while others exhaust. The aligned pay attention. They adjust where they work, who they listen to, what they consume. Not dramatically. Intentionally. Because surroundings shape thought, and thought shapes direction. When the environment supports the identity, progress feels lighter. Opportunities also begin to arrive in subtler forms. Not fireworks. Invitations. Conversations. Small doors disguised as ordinary moments. The untrained overlook them. The aligned recognize the signal. They understand that life speaks softly first. When listened to early, it doesn't need to shout later. Remain attentive, the orchestration is precise. Here is a truth few articulate. They stop chasing chances and start preparing for alignment. Preparation sharpens perception. When readiness meets timing, opportunity feels inevitable. This is why it seems like luck follows them. But luck is simply preparation meeting the right moment repeatedly. And that repetition is practiced daily. They also become selective with emotional exposure. Not closed, centered. They choose when to engage deeply and when to remain still. This discernment preserves vitality. When emotional energy is not scattered, presence intensifies. Presence is magnetic. People feel it before they understand it. This magnetism is quiet, but undeniable. Notice how effort begins to feel different here. Less friction. Fewer internal arguments. Movement without force. This is not ease without work, it is work without inner resistance. When resistance dissolves, stamina increases. Long paths no longer intimidate. They simply unfold step by step. Another subtle shift emerges. They stop explaining themselves. Not from arrogance, but from clarity. When purpose is known internally, external validation loses urgency. Silence becomes sufficient. Action speaks. Results whisper. Peace follows. You were never meant to justify your becoming. Let this settle deeply. Identity aligned, relationships refined, environments calibrated, opportunities synchronized, effort clarified, presence magnified. This is not coincidence, it is consequence. Remain still with this awareness, because the next layer reveals how adversity itself becomes an ally. When that truth arrives, nothing in your path will ever feel wasted again. My beloved child, something timeless is standing with you now, a stillness so complete it feels like arrival. This is the final layer, not an ending, but a settling into truth. Remain here, because what is revealed now changes how you walk forward forever. Here is the ultimate distinction. Those who shape extraordinary lives no longer live toward the future. They live from alignment. There is no chasing, no proving, no becoming someday. Being has already occurred. Action flows from wholeness, not hunger. When wholeness leads, creation responds effortlessly. This is the quiet mastery beneath all visible success. They understand this sacred law: life mirrors identity at scale. When the inner world is ordered, the outer world reorganizes. Not instantly. Inevitably. Delays are not denials, they are calibrations. Each moment refines timing. Each pause deepens readiness. Trust replaces urgency. Presence replaces pressure. And suddenly, the path feels guided instead of forced. Here is the final truth most never hear. Wealth, influence, impact, these are not goals. They are symptoms. Symptoms of coherence. When values, intention, belief, identity, and action speak the same language, results cannot help but appear. The universe responds to clarity with cooperation. Confusion attracts friction. Coherence attracts flow. They live with reverence for the unseen. Not superstition, respect. Respect for cause and effect. Respect for inner state. Respect for the intelligence moving through all things. This reverence makes them careful with thoughts, words, and choices, not from fear, but from awareness. Awareness is power refined. Now notice what has happened within you. The striving has softened. The questions have quieted. A steadiness has taken their place. This steadiness is not certainty about outcomes, it is certainty about self. And self-certainty is the foundation no circumstance can shake. Here is the blessing hidden in this realization. Nothing ahead needs to be rushed. Nothing behind needs to be carried. You are free to act cleanly, patiently, decisively. Free to build without anxiety. Free to grow without comparison. Free to succeed without losing yourself. This is why the truly aligned appear calm even while building empires. Their nervous system is not fighting reality. Their energy is not split. Their heart and mind move together. When unity is internal, impact becomes external. Let this truth anchor now. You were never meant to copy another path. You were meant to align so deeply with your own that it becomes unmistakable. From this place, daily actions carry weight. Small choices ripple far. Ordinary days become sacred ground. Remain in this stillness as long as you wish. Nothing more needs to be added. Nothing more needs to be chased. You are already in motion, already in alignment. Already enough. And from this knowing, everything you build will carry the signature of truth.